Two. East Hampton Village Board, we are live.
Morning, everyone. Today is December 18th, 2024. Welcome to East Hampton Village Board meeting. If I could ask everyone to stand for a pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. So before we start, I just wanted to have a couple of announcements. One is Santa Fest last weekend was absolutely well attended and a terrific time. So I hope everybody went out and enjoyed it because it was really a great day. It's a little chilly, but it was a lot of fun. January 24th will be our next board meeting instead of the 17th. We're moving it to the 24th due to the holidays and vacations and things like that. So it'll be January 24th here at the firehouse at 11 a.m. And our one-day town resident beach sale will be held on January 28th here at the firehouse. The non-resident permits are still $500 for town residents. It's a one-day sale. The snow date will be the 30th. And that starts at 9 a.m. and runs till 6 p.m. That's all I have. Now we're going to bring up, oh, yes, the polar bear plunge, something I do not attend or enjoy. But that will be on the 1st of January. I hope you can all come. I'll be in Florida, so I will join you, but in much warmer water. So, yeah, so that's the first. What time does that start? Noon?
1 p.m., but they say to get
1
there early.
p.m.
At Main Beach.
at Main Beach. All right, next up is Hugh King, our historian, with another informative message.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're going to put the police chiefs on hold. Remember, the next police chief up is Fritz Letty, but I want to talk today about Route 27. Route 27 is a group of people who, after working all day, attend classes at night to improve their English proficiency. They also go to different historical sites and visit them. And last year, the class of Route 27 came to Home Sweet Home Museum. There are a whole cache of letters that you can have. I think Trustee Doyle has one. You have them, Mr. Mayor. Trustee Amadon, right? Mm-hmm. Yours are in your mailbox, Trustee Deputy Mayor Minority.
I have them, thank you.
Okay, and do you have some? You got some too, right?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and then Trustee Melendez should have some too, okay? I left some over there for her. So I just want to read two of them to you, okay? The visit to Home Sweet Home was simply spectacular. In this museum, we can see old pieces that tell stories such as the collection of plates, handmade work by women, paintings, chairs, clocks, quilts, and many other unique and curious pieces that are preserved intact. The architecture of the house is wonderful. Thanks to Mr. King for telling us the truth, like the author of the song Home Sweet Home did not live there. Don't tell the village board that. And the song Home Sweet Home was not written there. Thanks to the fact that the village of East Hampton has preserved this house museum very well, we can delight in getting to know a house that is more than 200 years old, full of art and history. On this visit, we not only heard history, but we also met a legend of the area, such as Mr. King. A man with a lot of charisma and knowledge. He is adorable, funny, and smart.
You made that up, right?
It was a pleasure to meet him. Mr. King deserves a raise. No, that's not there. Not there. Okay, and one more. Okay. First, I want to say thank you to the teachers for the opportunity to know historic places in our town of East Hampton. I feel so grateful to live here. Also, Mr. King, thank you for good time to explain, showing all the house. You know all the history of Home Sweet Home. You answered all our questions. The house has many things that I like, such as its cupboard, the small doors, because the owners didn't want to spend money on wood. I was surprised by the creativity of the necklaces that were made with hair many years ago. I love the history, and I love the history you had with your wife. I would like to say thank you for your time. I hope to return soon and recommend more people to visit Home Sweet Home and learn about the history of our town. Okay? And there's another whole cache of those. After you get done with them, give them to the village administrator, and then I'll bring them to Home Sweet Home, and we'll keep them in the records there. Okay? Okay, that's it.
We did say he's adorable.
Thank you, Hugh. All right, we're gonna jump to the fire chiefs for a quick presentation. If I could have the fire chiefs come up. A little out of order, but yeah, do that first.
Okay, so I don't know if everybody's aware here, but I think the village board and most of the fire department is. We were asked to assist at Jennings Creek with brush fires that were taking place off the island up in, I think it's Ulster County. We took the opportunity to assist them at the request of Suffolk County Fire Rescue and Emergency Services. And I want to read a letter that came back from Rudy Sunderman, who is the commissioner there. Dear Chief Forrester, the Chief Forrester's with us here. I want to take this moment to personally thank the chiefs, officers, and members of your department who responded to Jennings Creek fires in Orange County this past November. Your willingness to assist and send assets along with your members' professionalism, courtesy, and patience throughout the process were very much appreciated. As you know, the dedication shown by Suffolk County was outstanding, and the work done by all involved makes Suffolk County stand out. That obviously is directed to the fire department, its personnel, and the village for allowing us to do that. I just wanted to read off the names of the members that went there as well, because they obviously took time above and beyond their dedication to the fire department and away from their own personal lives to go up there. We sent a crew with a tanker on November 12th. They were up there for about 24 hours. They were led by the village fire and EMS administrator and ex-chief Jerry Terza, along with his brother, Fireman Stephen Terza, Ray Harden, also ex-chief, who's here today also, and Thomas Bach. November 16th through the 17th, roughly 38 hours total. Again, Jerry Terza, a lieutenant of company number 4, Edison Gordillo, Fireman Russell Young, Fireman Jonathan Moore, Fireman Jimmy Albion, and Fireman Jeff Morris, who also serves as our department secretary. We just wanted to acknowledge them and have it on the record that all the efforts that were presented by our department and the village were very much appreciated.
Thank you very much. And the village board really thanks the whole department for everything they do every day, but that was really above and beyond, and we really want to thank them. And I'd like anybody who's here from that group, come on up and we'll take a photo with me and the chiefs up here.
Just Reverend Jerry.
Your photo bomb there, Carrie. You can stand through the middle. One chin, one chin, please. All right, great.
So why don't you just stay right up here, Ray, and you guys come over here. Hi, Ray. So I just wanted to give a proclamation today that we're going to issue to Ray. Ray is also a retired fire chief and still a member, and is just an outstanding member of our community. He's done so much for the community through his personal life and also through his community service to the village as a fireman. So wanted to thank him personally, and we have a proclamation which Lorraine will read now.
Whereas the Village of East Hampton honors Ray Harden for his outstanding service and dedication to the East Hampton Fire Department and the greater community, and whereas Ray Harden has risen through the ranks, demonstrating decades of selfless service to the East Hampton Fire Department, serving as lieutenant and captain of Engine Company Number 2, and currently serving as the secretary and treasurer of Company Number 2, exemplifying steadfast commitment and responsibility. And whereas Ray Harden provided exemplary leadership as the second assistant chief of the department from 2006 to 2008, as first assistant chief from 2008 to 2009, and as chief of the department from 2009 to 2012, setting a standard of excellence in public safety and emergency response. And whereas Ray Harden has further supported the fire service community as president of the East Hampton Firemen's Benevolent Association since 2017, advocating for the well-being and interests of his fellow firefighters. And whereas, as the current Suffolk County Fire Coordinator for the 9th Division, Ray Harden continues to play a pivotal role in fostering regional coordination and ensuring the safety of our communities. And whereas Ray Harden showcased his organizational and leadership skills by chairing and organizing the 125th anniversary parade and celebration of the East Hampton Fire Department, a milestone event that honored the department's proud history and strengthened its bond within the community. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Jerry Larson, Mayor of the Incorporated Village of East Hampton, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the entire village, do hereby recognize and commend Ray Harden for his remarkable service, leadership, and unwavering dedication to the East Hampton Fire Department and our community. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Village of East Hampton to be affixed this 18th day of December in the year 2024.
I think that was the longest proclamation we've ever had, but that's just a testament to how much he's given to this community. So we really appreciate that, and thank you, Ray. That concludes our presentations. We have now public hearings coming up, so if you don't want to stay, now is the time to depart. So we'll just take a 2-minute break and let you get out of here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we forgot.
Be Hugh, if you could step back up. You're going to present
Runners?
the runner?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's just a little. Share that with the, something that you're going to see. This is just a close-up of some of the pieces you're going to see. Come on, there we go.
Thank you.
It's supposed to be up on the screen.
Yes, I think we have photos.
Do you have it up on the screen right now? Give me a second, and here we go.
Okay, these, there are two pieces that the village board is agreed to accept into the collection of Home Sweet Home Museum. They were done by Mary Ellen Muller's mother. The first one was a stair runner that took place, that was worked on but from 1951 to 1953 for 2 years. And then that's the stair runner. The hall runner was worked on from 1955 to 1957. So it took 4 or 5 years to put this together. Mariella has agreed to donate those to the village. And what we're going to do, if you see them on the screen up there, we're going to have them framed and they'll be put in the gallery of Home Sweet Home Museum. Okay? That's all I have to say. Mariella, would you like to say something? Is that okay, Mariella?
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Thank you, Hugh.
First of all, I want to thank the village for taking these two items, the stair carpet and the runner. My mother did this in almost 70 years ago, both of these. On the stair carpet, on each riser, you see some landmark in East Hampton, like Cook Mill or Clinton Academy, the Second Church, and some in between each one is like a whale or ducks. And on the treads, when you're coming down and look from upstairs down, you see a flower on each step, and that's what you're actually stepping on. The other item that she did is a map of Long Island, and that is over 13 feet long, and it's over 2 feet wide, and it's magnificent. I think you'll really enjoy this, and I appreciate you taking these and displaying them, and I appreciate you doing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is amazing. These are amazing pieces of work. So thank you for donating them.
My mother came here when she was 18 years old and started teaching school here. Of course, she was single and then married a local man, my father, Harry Parsons, and these are things that are representing the Parsons family. Thank you.
That's terrific. Let's just do a photo for the press.
You're going to get your picture taken now, Mary Ellen.
Okay.
You, come on.
No, not me, just
No,
you.
come on. Thank you so much.
$10.
One sign?
That's terrific. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm going to take these pictures back then.
Help her back to-
Yeah, wait a minute. Thank you. All right. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you again, Mary. That was for you. All right, let's see, next up, public hearing. Oh, no, we got to do roll call real quick.
Okay. Mayor Jerry Larson,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Chris Minardi,
Here.
Trustee Sandra Melendez has an excused absence, Trustee Carrie Doyle,
Here.
Trustee Sarah Amadon,
Here.
Administrator Marcos Baladron,
Present.
Village Attorney Lisa Perillo.
All right, thank you. First public hearing?
Introductory number 23 of 2024, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 192, rescind and revoke moratorium on tennis court and pickleball court conversions.
Billy, would you want to just step up and say a couple of things about this?
This is the rescinding of the moratorium that was temporarily in place to prohibit the conversion of pre-existing tennis courts to pickleball courts. Later in the agenda, you have a local law that enacts legislation that regulates the conversion of those courts. So if you want, I could touch on that.
Yeah, why don't you just jump into that real quick?
What that law will do will be prohibit the conversion of pre-existing tennis courts into pickleball courts unless the existing tennis court complies with the regulations that were enacted about 7 months ago, which govern the construction of new courts, basically. So as far as I know, there was a bit of a surge when pickleball was first happening. But since then, I think it's kind of quieted down a little bit in terms of construction of new pickleball
Great.
courts.
And this was all in an effort to, be respectful to the neighbors, because not a lot of people, but some people wanted to convert their existing tennis courts to pickleball courts, and it's a noisier game than tennis. So this was an effort to protect the neighbors. So I think we've got a good handle on it. Other communities have done similar things, so.
I was going to mention that, where our regulations are sort of in line with what other municipalities in the area have adopted as well. So
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Would anyone like to be heard on that public hearing? Any board member? No? So can I get a motion to close?
Motion to close.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
That hearing is closed. Next hearing?
Introductory number 24 of 2024, a proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 278, zoning, Section 278-3A, area setback and coverage requirements. Number 17, tennis courts and pickleball courts on residential property C and D.
Anyone like to be heard? Board? Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that hearing is closed. Next hearing?
Introductory number 25 of 2024, proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 196, noise, Section 196-1A, 8, 9, 10, and 11.
Anyone like to be heard? Anyone on the board would like to be heard?
Motion to close the hearing?
I just got to have a couple of things to say. We're going to keep this hearing open for one more month. I did receive some phone calls and comments on the street, if you will, and we want to just look at this because we were eliminating the homeowners from doing work on their own properties in this law, and there's been some objections to that. Not here at this hearing, obviously, but I have heard it, and I think we're going to tweak the law a little bit to allow the homeowners to do some work on their own properties, but not commercial companies to do work. So, and that came up because some people are only off on the weekends, and it's the only time they have to do the work. So we're going to go look at that again and come out next month with a little tweak to the law, I think. So, all right. So we're going to keep that hearing open. All right. Next up is board discussions, and we're going to talk about beach rules. Could the village administrator just start off, fill us in?
Well, we've been discussing this internally for quite some time. I think when were all looking at Section 77, they kept referring to a bunch of beach rules at the very bottom of our code, and then when we kind of looked at the beach rules, we found out that there were about 4 of them. So it looks like it was a project that kind of stopped midway, and I think we have to clean that up. Obviously, we have rules down there, whether it be administratively or just included in the code, but we wanted to clean that up, Lisa and I, but really this was at the direction of Chris Minardi, the deputy mayor and the beach liaison, and of course, Drew Smith, who's back there, and Diane O'Donnell, our assistant manager, and I think they'd like to be included a little bit in the discussion, if that's okay.
Chris?
Do we have a list? Oh, I know, I'm sorry, it's not in my packet. Do you want me to just start at the
Go
top?
for it. Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so first thing on this list is directed towards the beach parking lots. And again, I don't know if it's in particular order, but the first one would be no speeding is permitted in the beach parking lot, and a speed limit of 5 miles an hour will be strictly enforced. We have had incidences where people are driving too fast, and there's a lot of kids and beachgoers and handicap and the whole ball of wax up there in the beach parking lots. And I think 5 miles an hour seems like a reasonable limit. Anyone?
Yeah.
Drew, Diane, do you have anything to chime in on the 5?
You guys come up to the podium.
Yeah,
just
maybe
so
if you
you're-
come to the podium, that way if you have to chime in, you can be close.
And this all came up last summer when we had somebody act very recklessly, drive around our cones at the entrance to Lot 1, and then wound up getting into a car accident, and then left the scene of that car accident. So then we started looking at our code, and we're like, we don't really have a lot of rules governing our parking lots. We have more rules about governing the beach, but not really about the parking lot. So that's where this all stemmed from. And so that's why we're doing this now, so we're prepared for next summer.
Since there's 11 of these, I'm just going to read them off, and if anyone wants to chime in or add to it, then they can do so we can get through these. Some of them are self-explanatory, or some of them seem easy, some might not be. All those entering the beach parking lots must obey the beach lot attendants as well as any and all traffic control devices, including but not limited to stopping at traffic cones such as permits, passes, which may be verified by the lot attendant. As the mayor said, a lot of people get impatient when they want to enter certain parking lots, and they are bypassing the attendant who's just trying to help and not get run over. So that was number 2. Number 3 is no parking is permitted except in designated parking stalls. So again, people make their own spots, park in other places that prohibit maybe easy flow of parking and illegal parking. So again, you have to park in a designated parking spot. Parking stickers, permits, and passes are non-transferable. The discovery of any transferred, copied, or altered pass or permit will result in immediate confiscation of the permit and locker if it applies and will not be replaced. So again, with the new technology, it's easy to copy these stickers possibly, or peel them off and transfer them, or who knows what people are doing now. But if you are found transferring a sticker, then the village is going to take it away. And if the sticker is a Lot 1 sticker, it also comes with a locker that would be included in this penalty. Board, we good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay. Number 5, parking passes must be presented for admission to beach parking lots. Vehicles must display the appropriate pass to park. Vehicles without the appropriate parking permit will be towed at the owner's expense. The parking permits are non-refundable. Good. The charge for a replacement sticker is blank proof plus proof of loss. So if someone loses their sticker, or I guess gets a new car and doesn't peel their sticker off, or the variety of excuses we've heard at the beach, do we want to have a replacement fee? And what would that fee be? Board? Is it free? Do we charge? How much do these passes cost? Is there an actual dollar amount tied to
Yeah,
it?
some kind of administrative fee
Small fee, if they
Small
can prove
fee.
that, yeah.
to swap it out.
So does $20, $5, what?
Is this something that's happening regularly or?
No, not that regularly.
I mean, I don't know why you need to charge. I know people have gotten into car accidents and their beach sticker was on that car and they can't use that car and they have a rental car. So it seems a bit punitive to make them pay for that new sticker. Does it cost us anything to print it, does it?
Probably have
We already
extras.
have it. Yeah, we have extra.
Oh, so there's no charge if
All
you
right,
prove your loss?
No charge, but we should pull the mics in so that LTV can
Something
hear.
that's being, if someone's
Oh,
taking
I heard you.
advantage of it.
Thank you, LTV.
Too loud.
No, it's someone taking advantage of it.
Oh, taking advantage, then I would charge, but if there's no reason, I don't see a reason to charge. I agree with you.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, so,
Maybe if it's a second replacement within the season or something like that.
Yeah.
okay, so we'll just take it as it goes. It doesn't happen that often, and we can address this at a further meeting if it becomes an issue. So Marcos, no charge. Okay, moving on. No littering is permitted in the parking lots, and all trash must be placed in designated trash receptacles. No soliciting or selling merchandise is permitted. No smoking or vaping on the beach, in the beach parking lots. No idling of vehicles is permitted at the beaches except emergency vehicles. Okay, so again, a lot of people like to eat their lunch or listen to their music or maybe keep their heaters on. I don't know.
Or their air conditioning.
Air conditioners on.
So no idling at all, did you say?
That is what it says.
It's a good rule.
No idling at the beach at all?
Yeah.
Because all seasons or just in the summer? Because I mean, when I'm at Georgia Beach, and I'm there every day in the winter, and people are sitting there eating their lunch and they have their motor because it's cold.
And same could be if it was hot.
Right.
So
But is this a seasonal rule or is this a year-round rule?
it's beach rules.
Season.
Seasonal, Marcos? Okay.
So in the winter, they can have the
Included a
motor
seasonal
running?
in there.
I think it's going to be an enforcement issue. I think if it's probably only going to be enforced during the summer months,
Okay.
when the beaches are open. But the rules will be in effect 24/7 because you don't want people doing those other things. So I think it's just going to be an enforcement thing where it's not really going to be addressed, Chief, right? In the off-season?
So you can't at all sit, like, what if someone, is waiting to pick up someone, and they're elderly, they want their air conditioning on, like, they can't? I mean,
It's all going to be judgment on the,
okay,
By case. If someone's parked up in the lot all day and their car is on,
okay,
maybe versus you picking your kid up from work. I would say is that maybe we should change some of these to, I mean, you shouldn't be able to litter in the off-season. So some of these parking, right,
It's up for
exactly.
discussion.
Or we should make it a 15-minute, like our 15-minute parking,
Yeah,
something like that. How's that?
yeah, that's good.
Can't idle for more than 15 minutes. Because you got people that pull up to the 15-minute parking.
Right.
So-
Yeah,
Can I just go back to the solicitations? I just have a question. Is there any sort of rule about, I know a lot of the inns are now having staff come down and set up chairs for their people staying at the, at that inn, people are setting up sort of sections. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen the inns, but, maybe the beach managers see things more than I do.
Have been a few. She's right. It's starting
Diane,
to be.
could you
a
just
trend.
talk into the,
Oh, sorry. She's correct. It is starting to be a trend where we'll, send the kids on a beach walk to pick up trash and they'll say there's like 15 chairs and a tent down there, and not that far off the main part of the beach. So yes, it is becoming a thing. And then some of those people who set up also do advertising while they're there. So I have asked people to pack that away. They'll be saying, they're doing advertising for their place of business.
Is it just inns, or do you find that it's also just people doing it as a business?
People, there are people that are doing it as a business, like people send emails all the time, and mostly we either, we forward them on to get it checked. Can we come down and do a pop-up? Can we come down and we just want to give away things for free? And we do say that that's not permitted at Main Beach.
Also, according to the rules, we're not talking about anything on the beach. This is pertaining to them advertising in the lot for monetary or promotional gains. The beach would be a second or separate category than this. This would be more so somebody setting up in the parking lot for a promotional purpose.
Okay. Is that something that should be addressed, though? Is it with the people on the beach setting up these?
They are occurring more and more, but a lot of times they do have something from the village that we were aware of it prior to.
I think we're covered in the parking lots and at the head of the beach, because that's already addressed in the village code, and that's the village's property. I think we'd have to talk more with the trustees and see if we can work together to get a law to ban any kind of commercial activity on the beach. I think that's what we should do.
Is that something that's recommended?
I would recommend it to get ahead of any problems. We haven't had any.
Yeah, I saw some companies that are out there that are setting up like bonfires for people. It's almost a good thing because they're putting them in containers and not just letting people burn stuff on the beach. So that part's good, but maybe we could do something just during beach hours that would limit any kind of commercial activity on the beach. What do you think? We just have to talk to the trustees. They're usually pretty cooperative. I'm sure they're having the similar issues in the town, so.
If this is directed possibly towards the inns, then I know that the inns pay for a lot of beach stickers. Maybe we can give them a memo when they do that.
Yeah, that part's easy with the inns. We could talk to them.
Okay.
If you're identifying it's the inns, but if it's just,
It's a mixed bag.
got it. Okay.
No, it's not.
All right, so we can do all right.
Again, a lot of them that we've addressed have had some permission or permit or something from Village Hall.
During the
There
day.
has not been,
Yeah.
there has not been a volume of them where it's become a problem of people just setting up for other people and leaving the setup, and maybe people attend it, maybe people don't. It's just there all day. We haven't noticed a problem with it yet, but yeah, majority of the groups that we have talked to have had some form of permission.
All right, so we'll notify the inns and then we'll take it.
And we'll send a letter to the trustees, Lorraine, and
Okay, we're still under parking lots, okay? The last one is the beach season ends September 15th. After this date, the beaches will be unprotected by lifeguards and no bathing will be permitted. It's kind of what we've always done, but we're setting the date of September 15th. Okay?
No one can bathe?
Well, at your own risk, I guess.
Technically, all beaches unprotected are non-bathing beaches. That's why when you go up to the beach, it says non-lifeguarded swimming is prohibited. The signs are posted at the end of the year, so should we have an unseasonably warm fall, the lifeguards, the back of the stands say no bathing is permitted. When we are on duty, that sign is flipped down, so we are able to give that service to the public. Should it be a warm fall, we can extend that, but the outer beaches such as Georgia, Egypt, Wyborg, and 2 Mile Hollow will be closed on the 15th.
Great.
Okay. I'm gonna
Anything
go-
else?
Yeah, there's 25 more. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go through them quick.
Yeah, just read them, and then if anybody
them.
has an objection,
Self-explanatory.
There, access to indoor locker areas at Main Beach Pavilion are for locker permittees only. No animals allowed inside Main Beach Pavilion. No animals allowed on Main Beach Pavilion deck from, and this is something we would talk about, a certain time, right here is highlighted, 10 a.m. to 5 a.m., and the 10 a.m. was highlighted.
5 a.m., 5 p.m., right?
PM, I'm sorry,
Okay.
10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I wanted to talk about this one. I thought that the times of the animals on the beach should be consistent with on the pavilion. That's my personal opinion.
I'm going to let Carrie handle that one.
I have noticed a lot of children and just activity at the main beach has gotten a lot busier, and it's, you know, I think it's dangerous and not really all that safe to have animals on the beach at the same time as it's busy. I would like to defer to either the board for discussion or the beach managers, but, you know, without getting into detail, there's a lot of dogs going to the bathroom on the pavilion. There's a lot of dogs fighting and biting and barking, and they go, it's just, I find it unhealthy and unsafe. I would like the times to be consistent. That way there's no, you know, confusion, but that's me. And, you know, again, we can open this up.
Yeah, I'm going to open this up, but I'd like to say, like, you ever see the editorials that come out on like Channel 11 or whatever, and they always have that disclaimer at the end that says that is not the reflection of the rest of the board?
Yes.
I just wanted to make that clear.
That's how I feel.
So make sure the papers get this correct. All right, go ahead, Carrie.
Well, I'd like to hear from Drew.
Yes, so I do agree with Deputy Mayor Minority that the biggest issue we have with signage and confusion is lack of consistency. I think being 9 to 6 on the beach for the dogs would be an appropriate time limit for the deck as well, just to help keep the time simple. It's not giving people a different time for location with the animals. The other thing we noticed last year is at 9 o'clock, when the patrols are coming around, it pushes everybody with dogs off the beach. It could be an animal, but it tends to be dogs. It pushes them up onto the deck. So from that 9 to 10 window, we have a high volume of dogs on the deck, which if you're up there with a lot of people, you realize the space is limited. We've had the leashes get wrapped around. We've had dogs go at each other. They do use the bathroom on the pavilion while they're up there. Some owners are better than others about cleaning it up. There's kids up there, there's strollers up there. It does add an element to foot traffic as well as enjoying the beach. They bark, they make noise, so I don't think getting rid of the dogs at the beach is the solution, but I do think it would help the cause to have the times mimic the beach, so it's not pushing maybe more dogs than it would have up there if the times are the same.
Are you a dog owner?
I was.
What's that?
I was.
I mean, I don't spend a lot of time 9 to 10 at Main Beach. I think it's hard stop because people are getting off the beach and then to be like, everybody scatter, you know, because you got to get out of Dodge. I mean, Sarah, have you spent any time at 9 to 10 at the beach?
It is a little chaotic, I have to say. I mean, I see Chris and Drew's point. I do like dogs, but.
I don't think this is not a dog issue.
It's not a dog issue.
This is a safety and
I
health
mean,
issue.
I have to, I'm not there all the time. I think Chris and Drew are there all the time. So I would have to say, if you've seen all this, then I would agree with what you say.
I've been up there, and I went up there a couple of times this summer in a response to hearing that there was a lot of dogs on the deck and things like that. And I was a big proponent of keeping the 9 a.m. on the beach, but then allowing people to leave the beach at 9, and then they have an hour to grab a cup of coffee and mingle with other people who also are up there walking their dogs. And it's kind of I thought it was kind of a nice thing. And I think what we could do is require them to have a leash on it, so that would stop any problems between other dogs or Chris's worries of, a dog biting somebody. But the times I visited, most of the dogs were pretty well behaved. They were on the owner's lap while she was eating or having coffee. And I just think it's a nicer way to conduct business. So I thought the 10 o'clock was absolutely fine.
Well, then can
I
we
don't
keep the
normally
10 o'clock?
like to go against,
The only
the
time
people who are there every day, but I just,
During the week, that's an okay thing. On the weekends, when we have junior lifeguards and we have all of the dog people coming up to the deck, as all of these parents are arriving with their children, a lot of them bring their dogs, and they want to sit there until junior lifeguards is over. So then we have the thing of people who know that it's 10 o'clock, they leave, but then they complain because the people who come at 9 o'clock with their dogs and don't want to leave till 11:30. And we do ask them politely, but quite often we're completely ignored. So that's what Drew's talking about.
so are you suggesting we open it till 11:30?
Yeah, no.
I
Yeah.
do think the leash is a good addition. The only thing to take into consideration with what Diane is talking about, the foot traffic with the leashes, if they're not on the owner's lap, do become a tripping hazard as they wrap around the poles on the pavilion.
Yeah.
Again, I do think like anything else, if you go to the beach on a weekday, on a Wednesday between 9 and 10, it's going to be a very different animal than going at, 9 to 10 on a Saturday when junior lifeguarding and some of the yoga and the other programs are going on. I don't know if there's a way to do weekdays versus weekends, but I think overall, any rule changes or rule adjustments, the consistency for everything just might be a bit easier for people who are coming to visit our beaches and enjoy our beaches, because it's clear down the middle. There's a divide between people that really enjoy the dogs down at the beach and people that really do not. And they both let us kind of know their sides. But I think from a safety point of view, they do urinate, they do use the bathroom on the pavilion, and the tripping hazard is growing as the years and people and volume of the beach patrons has grown.
I'd like to also add that if you walk down the pavilion at Main Beach, there's only one very little corridor to walk down. You've got the tables, you've got the chowder bowls doors, and it's not a big area. It's a little walkway, and that's, again, if you spend a lot of time at the beach, you know what I'm talking about. And maybe I spend a lot of time there and I see it more than others, but not everybody's a dog person. And the beach is a public area. And I think that it's only fair to everybody to have, consistent rules, and it's unfortunate that there are probably only a couple people that don't tend to their animals the way others do. But, I've seen many occasions dogs going to the bathroom all over the pavilion, and then I have a little baby crawling around because they're at the beach on the ground, and I feel personally strongly to make it 9 o'clock, the same as the rule on the sand, and that's how I feel. You guys
I
can.
have a suggestion. I think it was Carrie's idea. I'm just going to throw it out there, but because so many people go to the beach and enjoy it, they like to get their coffee. Some people are, they bring their dogs. I get it. I think Carrie said a while ago, why don't we create some kind of dog park area?
At the beach?
I don't know that I said that.
You said that.
After John McGurk told me what a dog park insurance hazard is.
No, what are the Seaspraise cottages? But is there, could there be an area where people and their dog owners go? Is that something that we could think about? I don't know.
I'd be definitely willing to talk about any of those things, but right now I want to get through the 25 beach rules, and this is just like what we're talking about, on the pavilion itself.
All right. My vote is 10.
Can we do 10
And
this
leashed.
year? 10 and leashed, and then see how it goes?
You can vote however you
Okay,
like.
I'll do 10.
I'm voting 9 o'clock.
Sarah?
Are we voting right now?
No.
No.
Well,
Discussion, how
I'd
do you
like to
feel?
have a feel for, because if you vote with Chris, then we have to
And
put this over. If you vote with us, we could just move on.
with these
No pressure.
laws all the
Getting a
time,
text
my
from Trustee
issue, it's
Melendez.
not really Main Beach, it's that, I walk my dogs on the beach. I've said this before, if you have little kids, you're not getting to walk your dogs before 9 a.m. because you're getting your kids ready, you can't leave them alone, you can't take the dog to the beach. At 6 o'clock in the evening, when you're allowed to bring your dog to the beach, if you have kids, you're making dinner, you can't be like, okay, we're all gonna pack up and go back to the beach to walk the dogs. So these really long dog things, that's just my issue from May 15th to May 15th to October 15th, to September 15th. And I go every day, and there's nobody at the beach at like 10 o'clock in June on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So that's what the mayor's referring to as my allegiance to dogs, is that there's a lot of empty beach that dogs are never allowed
This is
on.
just pavilion. We're just talking about Main Beach Pavilion. We're
Okay.
not talking about any other area.
And so you're not talking about parking lots or anything, just the main
This is
beach.
the deck, the pavilion deck.
I still vote for 10.
Could we do 9 on the weekends and 10 on the weekdays?
I think that's going to cause a lot of confusion, and then it's going to make a lot of work for the beach
Well,
and a lot of arguments.
That's hard for people, because that's the first thing, well, we were here yesterday at 10 o'clock, and why do we have to leave now?
Forget
You
that.
know,
I would.
We could table this, and
Yeah.
we can come back to it.
All right, let's move on.
Is that all right with everybody?
Let's hear from people, maybe.
Yeah, maybe tell us what you think out there. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
Okay. Number 4, no public urination.
But
I agree with that.
You agree with that, but what about a dog?
It's different, Chris.
It's not different. No skateboarding or
It's pretty different.
person might go off.
Who said that? Was that LTV talking?
Yes.
Are we including him in the, Gabby, are we including him in the minutes?
A person might go around the back of the building.
Okay,
The
let's
dog's
keep
gonna
going
go right in the middle of this. No skateboarding or rollerblading in the parking lot, sidewalks, or the road adjacent to the pavilion.
Good.
Bicycles, skateboards, rollerblades, e-bikes, or similar vehicles are not permitted. None of them are permitted on the deck. Sorry, it wasn't written straight. No alcoholic beverages allowed inside Main Beach Pavilion locker areas. No smoking, vaping anywhere at Main Beach Pavilion decks or in the beach building. No glass containers. No nudity.
No what?
No glass containers, no nudity.
Got it. Probably unconstitutional, but
No loitering, and no tents or structures overnight. No charging electric vehicles on the Main Beach Pavilion. We've had this problem. Or no extension cords on the deck for personal use, and people are charging their personal devices. No littering, no littering. No amplified music allowed except by permit. Permits are required for groups over blank in numbers as well as for organized parties, events, or activities. I think we have those numbers set in our special permit, which if we revise that at a future date, then we revise that at a future date. So right now, our special permits have set numbers of party events.
per beach, per night.
Children under the age of 12 must be accompanied by an adult. All personal items must be removed from beach lockers between October 1 and May 1 of each year. The village is not responsible for lost or stolen items. Those found not in compliance with the beach rules shall be issued a notice of violation. Upon the issuance of the infraction, the village may, without further notice, revoke the violator's parking pass and any associated beach locker permit. Violations are also subject to penalties as per the village code, as well as the loss of beach privileges.
Good.
Okay. Locks on the lockers will be removed after September 15th to facilitate general maintenance of the pavilion. I believe that the beach owns the locks, so we would just be taking the locks off. We might do that, we might
We
not.
give people a locks, yes.
Locker users must remove all personal items by September 15th to avoid loss of disposal during the maintenance. The village is not responsible for any items left in the lockers after this date. The Incorporated Village of East Hampton reserves the right to access and open any locker as deemed necessary for maintenance, safety, and other official purposes. Users should ensure lockers are kept in good condition throughout the season. Damage caused by misuse will result in fees or penalties. And last but not least, any remaining items left in the lockers after September 15th will be considered abandoned and subject to disposal by the village.
All right.
Wait, I have one question. You said no one under 12 allowed unaccompanied?
That's what it says. Children under the age of 12.
Old. I mean, I feel like, really? I mean, like, if two girls, 10-year-olds go up to go to the bathroom, they can't?
Well, that might be accompanied. Their parents are on the beach, maybe? I
think what he's trying to say is like dropping a 9-year-old off the beach and leaving and then coming back at 4 o'clock to pick them up might be inappropriate.
Yeah, because we have had things happen where children get sick.
I mean, you're accompanied, if like your parents are on the beach, you come up to get something to eat at the concession or, I think that would still count as
As long as you
accompanied.
know a parent is around, but we,
Yeah,
you know, we had
think that's-
a set of parents that dropped a child off. The child became sick, and I had to try, the parents had left, and we had to, you know, anyway, we took care of it, but
yeah.
it's not a good thing to happen.
Is that something that we want to put in a law, the number? Because, I mean, you could have a 13-year-old that's like a 5-year-old, and then the parent will say, well, you said I could drop them off. I'm just wondering if that's something that we want a hard number on.
It's a good question. Did we have this issue with junior lifeguards, or what is this?
Pretty much the parents who, you know, bring their children to junior life, most of them stay. And the ones who did leave were generally the parents of the older children, you know, the 12 to 14-year-old group.
All right, so what we can think about is when we do the junior lifeguard applications, we make sure that we have ample contact information from parents and, you know, see if this is an issue. I know like maybe during some of the concerts, kids get lost or parents
Yeah.
don't seem to have, but
We had a
that's.
few of those too, little small children who were, you know, when they're at the concerts, they're playing in huge groups. So the parents just assume that the child is with that group. But we have a few where the child came up to the pavilion for one reason or another and then couldn't remember where their parent was. You know, so they would approach somebody, or somebody would say that kid looks like he's lost or whatever. But you know, there were generally enough eyes that all of these issues were resolved quickly. But it does happen.
Okay, I'm done with the rules.
What are we doing with the age?
I just feel like 12 is a little, old. I mean, I walked to school alone when I was 9. in New
No
York City.
accompanied minors,
Well, I mean-
something like that?
Well, I have a question for
No
Chief
unaccompanied
Erickson.
minors?
What's the age that you can leave a child home alone? Is there an age?
Well, I mean,
Could you come to the podium, chief?
Sorry.
Also, I've been at Main Beach and I saw girls that I know were 10 years old. They were alone having lunch together. There was no parent there and they seemed fine. I don't know.
I just think an age is a hard.
I mean, a law on endangering the welfare of a child is anybody under the age of 17, so 16 and down. So, you know, what you want to do, if we've had it, if somebody's left a child in a car seat, obviously to this, but usually young, then they would be, you know, placed into custody for that. But, you know, the age that's a wild card, what you want to do
I just
with
think
it.
it's a tough thing.
You know, some might be more mature than others. But to have an adult at the beach with a child is probably a fair idea. You know, the number is what's obviously you're struggling with. You know.
Do we say minors, maybe?
17.
Or do we not?
I mean, minors.
Well, do you find a lot of unaccompanied? Is this a problem at Main Beach or
I mean, I'm not.
like you're?
I have not
No.
had any conversation about unaccompanied minors or the police department getting
Again,
calls.
I really think this is going to be an enforcement issue when there's an issue.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
if somebody's using the beach as a babysitter,
Yeah, I mean, we could-
dropping their kids, and they're obviously under 12, and then they become a problem, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that
The beach staff then notices it, I think,
they could
then we have
contact
some
us.
teeth to take care of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem like what Kerry brings up is like two 10-year-olds having lunch. I don't think the beach staff is going to be running around going, where's your parents? Where's your parents? Where's your parents? It's only when the kids become an issue. Like, let's say you got a kid refusing to stop riding a skateboard on the pavilion, and he's under 12, and you say, where's your parents? Oh, they're not here. That's a problem.
Yeah.
So now we can address it.
Yeah,
I think that's the tool we're looking for.
If it becomes an issue, I would recommend we don't put a number on it. If there's an issue with a minor at the pavilion, whether it's the skateboarding, the e-bikes, or incorrigible because of their age or they're unaccompanied, then have the beach staff contact the police department, and we'll deal with that on a case-by-case basis, and make it easier for everyone, and then we'll.
That was so good.
Next.
Anything else while I'm up here?
All right, the deputy's done.
I'm done, thank you.
We're going to move on. Village Administrator, could you read us the next, fill us in what's going on here?
Yes, the Board of Trustees compensation, and I want to thank the mayor for finally letting me put this on the agenda after quite some time. It seems that the compensation for the Board of Trustees is among the lowest locally, and I think it's time to address that. We've addressed that department by department over the course of the last 4 years. We've addressed the salary issues that we thought were a little too low, in many different departments, and we've held y'all at the same rate for quite some time. We haven't changed this in a very long time. We don't address it by giving any 3% raises or 4%, kind of bumps throughout the years like we do with normal staff. But I think for the amount of work that has increased over the years and for your responsibilities, I think it is time to address it. And this is from me, not anybody else, to all of you, but I think we all agree that the mayor's position is one that is severely, it's not fair. I mean, that a seasonal beach lifeguard, no offense to Diane and her crew, they do a great job, but I don't think that a seasonal lifeguard should make more than the Board of Trustees and the mayor. I just don't think that's fair. So it's kind of from me to y'all, and you guys can discuss it, but I think we should address it. And I'd like to look around locally and also kind of think outside the box. I don't want to get pegged by what another municipality is doing, because I'm sure they want to tiptoe on their own. But I think we should address it now that we're entering a new year. And
it has come up at some of our East End mayors meetings, and every mayor there's 10 mayors on the East End of Long Island, so that everyone's aware. And it has come up at our meetings, and everyone's very disappointed in the compensation from their municipalities, except for West Hampton Dunes, who makes as much as the town supervisor. So, I think that's a little over the top, but for the amount of hours that we all put in, it's changed over time. It used to be a very part-time job. And now it's become a very, I wouldn't say full-time job, but it's definitely
I'd say full-time.
Full-time, three-quarter. I mean, it's definitely a lot of hours go into our little village. So we can discuss it. I think it's a great idea. I'm glad Marcos brought it up. And let's see what the other villages make, and then we'll go from there.
I think for the public that doesn't know, and I know you all know this, but we're a $30 million organization, and we're the third largest employer in the township, right? And every single expense, and there are many millions, the board acts as the auditors. And normally other municipalities hire an auditor to do that, but every single purchase that the village does, you all review. As you know, you sign it right before these board meetings. That is a lot of work that you don't have to do, but you do. And I think I'm grateful that you do it, because I get a lot of emails from Sarah and Carrie and Chris, especially as to what these charges is. Please explain this. I think that's good. I think it's healthy that you are all very clued in to your all departments. But it should be now a compensation for that. I think it's unfair.
All right, so let's do a little research, and then we'll come back next meeting.
If I can add, I was at the mayor's East End meeting, and I saw the list of the compensation, and it was a little embarrassing. We're definitely on the lower end of what people do, and I think our wonderful village here is more work. And I can speak for myself. I know I can probably speak for everyone up here, where this is an endless job. emails, meetings, all kinds of things at all different hours and rescheduling regular jobs and things like that. It's much more than a part-time job. And it's not 9 to 5 at all. It's all night, it's all day, it's emails, it's meetings. So I would be in favor of researching and going forward, looking at what we have in mind.
Tiger, I know you wanted to talk. Could you just wait? We're going to go one more discussion, and then we have public comment. I just don't want to go make different rules for different people, so. Next item. Marcos?
I apologize. The contractor's license, it's something that right now, the village does not have a contractor's license. Essentially, we, I guess, depend on the town in a sense to kind of, for that licensing aspect and their review board. But I think the village should certainly, since we have completely different, rules, and I think we should have our own licensing, like a registry in a sense that people sign up so that, residents know that the contractor that they're hiring, understands the rules and responsibilities to be working here in the village of East Hampton.
I agree with you. I think right now, the way it works is if you have a contractor's license with the town, then you get to automatically work in the village. But the village has very different rules, and in fact, we are tightening those rules to make it a little better for homeowners so they don't experience as much noise on the weekends and on early mornings, late nights. So we're trying to tighten that up. And if you apply to the town, you really are not giving the village's rules. So enforcement is tough because you don't have a lot of police. We don't have a lot of code enforcement to go around. So if people knew the rules, it might help us in a long run where people would just abide by the rules and we wouldn't have to chase people around because they're misunderstanding, the town rules. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many parking summonses we issue at our beaches for no parking pass because people believe that a town pass also works in the village. So just taking that, for example, so enforcement is a real issue, which then trickles down that we're really not able to enforce it, which then translates to the neighbors and our residents being bothered by car doors slamming at 6 a.m. because the construction site, they're allowed to start working at 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. So we're going to clamp down on that. And at the same time, we think if we did our own registration of these services, that then they would know the rules and we could revoke their permits for working in the village. So I think hand in hand, I think it would work very well.
Okay.
So that's the premises behind this. So does anybody have any questions or ideas or give it some thought? And we're going to put this together, obviously, before the summer begins. So
when you just construction, there's really not that many contractors that build in the village. I mean, compared to the town, I mean, it's a small area. They're usually very big projects. And I would say 20% of them do 80% of the work. So it might be easier than we expected.
Right.
And sometimes there's a GC and let them get the permits and then all of the subs have to report to the GC as well. So
it's good to keep track because I drive by the two houses being built on Apicog every day, and on the street, I count, there's 24 cars parked on the street. And then inside their gates, they have multiple cars too, but every day there's 24 cars right there. So it'd be good to have some sort of, to make sure they know our rules and we're aware of who they are because they're there. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, we have good rules for right now for the season, but off-season, we really have, you can have a contractor working on a house at 7 a.m. on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that's just,
and they do.
To me, is unbelievable. That
there's no leaves to block the noise, so.
Federal holidays are not excluded. I mean, so we really need to get a handle on this.
Yeah.
And so we'll come up with some language. I know Lisa's working on language, right, for us, so we'll come up with something and then have a public hearing.
I would say in general, the 3 board discussions we had today are all addressing the fact that we have become a year-round, much bigger community, and we have to make the rules to address, or just, have the laws, have an understanding of how our community can work now that we've really exploded in population and business and initiatives. So these are all things that we just sort of taking care of business, essentially.
Right. Well said. Next up, public comment. Tiger, did you have?
Good afternoon, everyone. Tiger Graham, Cooper Lane. I would like to say two things. One, about the board compensation. As a past trustee, I know how much work goes into it, not only with the thousands of emails that you get, the people that you get buttonholed by at the grocery store. There is a lot that goes on, and the current trustee comp of $14,000 a year doesn't come close to covering what you're supposed to do. Now, again, it is supposedly a civic duty job, but come on, I think that you guys are worth more than what you're currently getting paid. I know I was. And lastly, on the contractor thing, I'm fully in favor of that as well. The only issue is, when you get into subs, so you're going to license the GC and not the subs?
No, I plan on, what I was going to offer to the board is for the subs as well.
Okay, I think that's fine. The only comment that I would make is don't make it too expensive.
No, I was going to keep it kind of like the town, $250, but do it annually because it's a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, maybe even less than that. I mean, some of these guys, landscapers especially, work pretty close to the bone. And, maybe if you made it like, if you pay $250 to work in the town, that's a pretty big area. Maybe you pay $100 to work in the village because it is a smaller area.
Well, the economies of scale, I'd have to contest that.
Then you're going to get just the big guys.
The village a little bit more than the town.
So at any rate, you guys will get to the right place on that. But I just, we want to be, I think that you want to be respectful of, what these guys are doing on a day-to-day. And other than that, thank you very much and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Tiger. Anyone else for public comment? No? Board, anything?
No.
All right. We're going to move into motions and resolutions.
Resolution number 656 of 2024, approve claim vouchers for the month of December.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 657, approve warrants as listed. Number 18, guarantees. Number 19 and 20, general fund. And number 21, general fund warrant.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 658, approve budget transfer schedule number 2, reference number 3, dated December 2024.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 659, approve minutes from the Board of Trustee meeting held November 15th, 2024.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 660, approve departmental reports.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 661, approve the $2,511,432 payment constituting the village's retirement contribution for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, the employment retirement system of $1,064,424, and police fire retirement system, $1,447,008.
So moved.
All in favor? Second.
Aye.
No, sorry. All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 662, resolve the 2024-2025 village budget is hereby amended to increase estimated revenue and appropriations in the amount of $85,000 for Domini Workshop Phase 2 state grant.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 663, resolve the 2024-2025 village budget is hereby amended to increase estimated revenue and appropriations in the amount of $55,627.29 for expenditures funded by the Employee Benefit Leave Reserve Fund.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Number 664, approve AIM funding in support of continued and increased state aid for local governments.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 665, approve correction to resolution number 654 of 2024 to approve the one-year Georgia Pond U.S. Geological Study Agreement to be split 3 ways with the Friends of Georgia Pond, East Hampton Town Trustees, and the Village of East Hampton in the amount of $2,782.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Just a quick comment about that. our village administrator. It was actually originally split 50-50 between us and the Friends of Georgia, and our village administrator brought it to the attention of the trustees that it should really be split 4 ways, also including East Hampton Town, because we all share the responsibility of Georgia Pond. The town was not able to contribute this year due to their budgeting has already been completed, but the trustees did join in, so now it's now divided by 3, and next year we will approach the town and hopefully divide it by 4. So I want to thank him for that. It's money saved to the village, so thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Resolution number 666 of 2024, approve the $5,479.58 refund due to Thomas Pendergrass, Suffolk County Tax Map number 301-4-4-1.6 concerning erroneous real estate taxes paid.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 667, approve the donation of 2 carpet runners depicting scenes of East Hampton Village and town history to the Village of East Hampton to be displayed at Home Sweet Home Museum, donated by Mariella Moeller as per Hugh King, Historic Site Director's memo dated December 3rd, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 668, deem surplus and of no value and approve the disposal of the listed equipment from the Department of EMS.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 669, to deem surplus and of no value and approve the disposal of the listed equipment from the Police Department.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 670, approve the 2024 Public Safety Answering Point PSAP Agency Agreement 28PO008 with Suffolk County Police Department for the period of January 1st, 2024 through December 31st of 2028.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 671, approve the East Hampton Village Ambulance LoSAP name change to the East Hampton Village Volunteer Ambulance Workers Defined Workers Benefit Length of Service Award Program.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 672, approve the $2,830.40 quote from Ryden for 2025 printed beach stickers.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 673, approve the $30,000 one-year agreement from Flock Safety for license plate reader service and technology to be installed at 11 locations in the Village of East Hampton.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 674, approve the $30,000 donation from the East Hampton Village Foundation to fund the Flock Safety LPR technology for 1 year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Just a comment about that. I want to thank the foundation for this donation, but if the village administrator could explain to the public what Flock is and how this will benefit the village residents, that would be great.
Flock Safety, the LPR program that they have it's an incredible piece of technology that is able to detect very quickly when you're driving into the village at any one of the points that you can drive into the village, including further lane, in a sense, like the back way into the village. You'll be able to immediately know of anybody who's stolen a vehicle, whether I can go into many different types of scenarios, but it's all public information, but it'll allow a police officer immediately to know that essentially if someone is incoming into the village that should be arrested, that they be arrested immediately. And it'll pop up right in the vehicle cars. So it's just another added layer of security for village residents. It's kind of a no-brainer in a sense, whether you've got individuals that shouldn't be going near a school, anywhere near a school. It's a good thing to have, I think.
Yeah, it's a really good program, and the county police have used it for years. And when we have this stolen car ring operating out here, we could actually track the car at what time it left East Hampton, what time it crossed Southampton, all the way through the county. You can follow the plate numbers. It tracks every single plate number that passes the camera. So our plan is to put one at every entrance and exit to the Village of East Hampton, and we will have a log of every single plate that enters our village. So, when something bad happens, will have every single plate that was in the jurisdiction at the time, which is an amazing thing to be able to do. And we're not the only ones to do this. It's done all over Long Island. There's communities that have them at the entrance to their villages. They have a much simpler entrance to their villages, only one way in, one way out. We have multiple entrances, but with this donation, we're able to cover every location. So
Due to
it's
the
really a good.
I apologize, but due to the foundation, you're right. We're the only village, in a sense, that we've done this, that rolled it out throughout its entire village. There's nobody else. They've got flock cameras in many different parts of Long Island, but nobody is insular like this, in a sense. If you're coming into the village and you've done something wrong and you're wanted, we'll know.
Watch out.
Or you do something while you're here, we'll have your plate number.
Right.
After you leave. So it's going to take some detective work to track it down, but eventually you will get caught. So this is a program that's modeled after the Palm Beach model. They have a simpler entrance to their jurisdiction. It's bridges and things like that. So there's a real choke point. But with this grant, we'll be able to do the same exact thing. So we're really happy about this and another layer of protection for our residents.
Who else has this west of us? Because this would actually help everyone east of us, because you got to go through East Hampton Village to get to Montauk and Amagansett.
Right.
So it helps them automatically. But
Yes.
does Southampton?
It's all
do this too?
connected. East Hampton Town Police as well have it in Wainscott. We've got it over, I believe, on Accabonac Road as well. And I think,
Is that the town or the county, Chief?
County, well,
you're right, they're county cameras, but
Yeah, I think it's the county has all these cameras, but we don't physically have the access to them without going through them, correct?
No, we have access. Once we sign up for the flock, we have access to
Okay.
all of them. The Sheriff's Department put the initial batch with a donation. There's a couple around the town you see on Springs Fireplace Road.
Newtown, we have one.
They're all over, as you were saying, Mayor, and we can track cars going over the Verrazano Bridge. A lot of them, the car theft ring ends up in Newark, New Jersey. But just recently, last week, we had 2 larcenies at Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and within a half hour, the detectives were able to get a description. You can put in, you don't necessarily have to have the plate, the technology. You could say it was a black pickup truck with a Trump sticker on the back. And you can put that in or whatever the description, and it'll pick it up. We were able to pick up that car, go up up into Springs and arrest the individual like that. So the technology is not only will help our residents for sure, but also the store owners that we have in here to deal with crimes, whether it's, vandalism or theft. We've been using that. We have one currently now, if you notice, on the light stand at the intersection of Main and Newtown, that was funded by the grant from the Sheriff's Department. So this $30,000, to put it, is going to be a huge help for us to not only know when bad people are coming here, because as we saw last, we do have bad people that come through here. It's better to know a lot of times if you're stopping that car, as we dealt with last board meeting, how bad that individual is, so officer safety, and be able to prevent crime quicker. And hopefully, in essence, it will become, if it gets out there, a deterrent. Go somewhere else. So this is a huge bonus for village residents, but also the store owners that, come here. So I thank you for that.
Very good.
Motion to accept.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 675 of 2024, approve the no-cost one-year agreement from Flock Safety for the Drones as First Responder program available to the East Hampton Village Police Department's 911 Dispatch Center.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 676, approve the $6,910.43 quote from Lincoln IT for the Village Hall MDF cleanup rack and stack installation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 677, approve $6,423.15 quote from Lincoln IT for the Police Department's second floor IT cleanup rack and stack installation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Number 678, approve $10,168.02 quote from Lincoln IT for the firewall replacement at the Emergency Services Building located at 1 Cedar Street for police, dispatch, fire, and EMS departments.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 679, approve $22,647.35 proposal from New York State Volunteer Firefighter Cancer Benefit Program to renew coverage for our dedicated volunteer firefighters January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025 plan year.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 680, accept new fire department member Luis Ayres for Hook and Ladder Company Number 1.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 681, approve $119,000 quote from H2M for engineering services to prepare map and plan for the formation of a village sewer system to be paid from the assigned unappropriated fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 682, approve correction to resolution number 637 of 2024 and approve the new $31,855.93 quote from Ben Krapinski Builder for the new interior office renovation at the Emergency Services Building.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 683, approve the $15,085.03 change order number 1 from Ben Krapinski Builder for attic steps, interior painting, and electrical wiring for the new interior office renovation at the Police Department in the Emergency Services Building.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 684, approve the $3,193.24 change order number 2 from Ben Krapinski Builder for sanding and painting for the front lobby renovation at the Emergency Services Building.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 685, appoint new members Vanessa Eastman and Virginia Osborne to the Herrick Park Playground Committee.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 686, approve traffic control specialist Carla Morales to work during the winter months for recall assignments, maximum of 20 hours per week.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Number 687, approve bids received from Firematic Supply Company for $7,142.98, from Municipal Emergency Services for $7,221.95, both for assorted items as per December 5th bid results.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Mayor, I know that Nancy McGurk and the LVS Tree Committee's here if they want to say a few words before, in regards to the Dutch elm disease bid, if that's
Great.
okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you're here.
Hi, well, thank you. Nancy McGurk, Vice Tree Chair for LVIS. We just had a comment on this, and this is a letter that Olivia Brooks, our Tree Chair for LVIS, has written. It states, Dear Mayor Larson and East Hampton Village Board of Trustees, as you know, the LVIS tree program has existed for almost 130 years. We are proud to work jointly with the Village of East Hampton to care and treat our trees, and in particular, the Grand Dames, the American elms. Dutch elm disease is a non-native invasive wilt that was introduced into the United States during the 1930s. And since then, the fungus has decimated communities of elm trees throughout the country. Since the 1980s, the LVIS and the village have been on the lookout for the emergence and/or presence of Dutch elm disease, or we say DED. Due to a significant number of elms falling to Dutch elm disease in the 1980s, former LVIS Tree Chair Mary Fallon learned of a treatment that attacks Dutch elm disease, Arbitect. It's a chemical solution created by Dr. Jay Stipes at Virginia Tech University, and it was introduced into a treatment program to keep DED at bay. For many years, Dr. Stipes visited our community annually to observe the conditions of our elms. And Arbitect has been used successfully on our elms since then, thanks to the village's strong commitment to our tree program. The success of this chemo program can also be seen in a well-documented report of the Glenwood Estate in Charleston, West Virginia, and we'll give you a copy of that. It's an interesting report. Since our community values the beauty and significance of our ancient elms, many over 100 to 125 years old, the elm's fate is most definitely in our hands. People who live in East Hampton or visit our town immediately recognize that East Hampton is a rare jewel when it comes to our tree community. Therefore, it is critical that we have an elm tree program that continues to fight DED. Timing is extremely important when injecting our elms. The chemical injections must take place at leaf out, which is May into early June. And lately, Arbitect injections were done on half of the elms one year and injections on the other half the following year. The LVIS does contract organic treatments through TreeWise on all new trees and village elm trees twice a year. And the village contracts the Arbitect treatments. Just important to know, in 2024, no Arbitect chemical treatments were given. This was a huge and unfortunate mishap. To keep our elms as healthy as possible and for as long as possible, the village, with the cooperation of the LVAS, must find a solution and have a chemical program reinstated for our elms in the spring of 2025. Thank you for all you do, for your cooperation and your support. And that's written from Olivia Brooks, LVAS Tree Chairperson. Thank you so much, and
Thank you.
yeah, we look
Thank you
forward
very
to.
much, Nancy.
I just want to thank Nancy and Olivia for all the work they do and the work that they're doing. They donated 3 trees again to the village, if you've noticed, just outside on Main Street.
Yeah, I see they're being installed today, so they look great.
It's timely.
They donated that this week, so just want to say thank you very much and for all the work,
All right, thanks.
that you do.
Thank you.
Look forward to
Thanks,
working
Nancy.
together.
Thank you.
Lorraine?
Resolution number 688 of 2024, notice to bidders for two-year Dutch elm disease treatment program with bid specs available on December 18th of 2024, and the bid opening to be held January 14th, 2025 at 2 p.m. at Village Hall.
Can I ask a question about this?
Sure.
After what Nancy just read, is this something that whoever gets the bid would work with the LVIS?
Yes.
They'd be working with the, with the village and the LVIS in conjunction, in a sense, and that's really Dave Collins and his crew.
Okay. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 689, adopt negative secret declaration with respect to introductory number 24 of 2024.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 690 of 2024, adopt local law for introductory number 24 of 2024, proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 278, zoning, Section 278-3A, area setback and coverage requirements, number 17, tennis courts and pickleball courts on residential property, C and D.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 691, adopt local law for introductory number 23 of 2024, proposed local law amending Village of East Hampton Code, Chapter 192, rescind and revoke moratorium on tennis court and pickleball court conversions.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
The public hearing for introductory number 25 was left open. We will skip the next 2 resolutions. 692 and 693 will be skipped. Next is resolution number 694 of 2024, approved $2,412 quote from Howard Technology Solutions for the Verkada 1-year camera licenses.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 695, approved $57,000 deposit to Pioneer Pole Buildings for the storage barn at the Department of Public Works located at 172 Accabonac Road, East Hampton, New York, 11937.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Passed and carried.
Resolution number 696, reappoint Catherine Davis as a member of the Design Review Board, term to expire July 31st of 2026.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 697, approve the resignation of the following part-time employees with the Department of Emergency Medical Service, EMS, EMT paramedics Michael Nelson and Adam Bolander, and EMT basics Antonio Tola and Gabriella Hasseldine, all effective December 1st, 2024.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. And the reason, just so the public knows, we hire a lot of part-time paramedics, a lot of part-time EMTs to fill our EMS schedules. And what happens is a lot of these people who come from up west, they wind up getting jobs in other locations. So that's why it's a technicality. We have to hire through a board resolution, and we have to approve resignations. So when you see the word resignation, you think of something negative, but it's usually a positive case with most of these people because they're actually getting full-time positions in another municipality. So just to clear it up, because sometimes just reading it is kind of misleading.
Resolution number 698 of 2024 approved the changes in membership for listed members of the Department of Emergency Medical Service, EMS, effective December 18th, 2024, as listed in Mary Mott's December 2nd, 2024 memo.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried.
Resolution number 699, accept resignation of Jack Brierly as a full-time police officer, effective retroactively to December 9th of 2024.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. I just want to make a comment about this, Chief. The last board meeting, we had a really nice presentation. You know, Jack is a really good kid or a young man, and his grandfather was a retired police officer from East Hampton Village, and we were really proud to be bringing him in. We were excited to give him the shield number and the whole thing, but unfortunately, Jack suffered an injury and was unable to pass the civil service test at this point. So he had to take some time, because the academy was starting in December, which had already started. So he just couldn't physically get it done this round. So we hope to see him back next year after he's recovered, and we look forward to having him work for the village. So another misleading, resolution. So I just wanted to make sure we clear that up, and, it's unfortunate. It's a big loss for us. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear for everybody. Next.
Resolution number 700, approve the $38,388.23 payout to Kim Priotta, retiring December 31st of 2024, to be paid on January 15th of 2025 from EBLAR for accumulated time.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. Just a comment, Kim has been a long-time employee of the village. She was actually my secretary a long time ago when I was chief of police. She's married to our very famous building inspector, Tom Prieto, and I just want to congratulate her on her retirement. She's going to be missed, but we wish her well in her new...
That'd be enough for a vacuum, right?
Yeah, so just wanted to thank her for everything she's done. All right, next, ignore Tom Prieto's comments and strike those from the record.
On the record.
Resolution number 701, approve the $17,239.06 payout to Layla Bennett, retiring December 31st of 2024, to be paid on January 15th of 2025 from EBLAR for accumulated time.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Passed and carried. Once again, Layla was a secretary of mine for a very long time. She's been with the village probably for, Chief?
Start talking.
35 years?
30.
Something around there?
Just 30.
So, 30?
Yeah.
So we just want to thank her for her long service to the village, and she will be missed, and we wish her well in whatever she decides to do after this life. Thank you,
I said so.
Layla. Next.
Resolution number 702, authorize the $10 million acquisition of the Ross properties using community preservation funds, CPF, contingent upon a matching $10 million contribution from the town of East Hampton, with the remaining balance to be funded by the Peconic Land Trust.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. This is a huge purchase of property on George Capond, which will not allow development, but will have public access. It's a $20 million purchase, 10 from the village and 10 from the town. But it will go a long way in preserving our pond and some open space. So it's a lot of money. We all realize that. And it took us a while to get to this point, but we finally came together unanimously, and we think it's a it's a worthwhile purchase, and, but we clearly realize this is a lot of money. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was clear on this, so. Next.
Resolution number 703, authorizing the approval of the 2025 interlocal agreement for PSAP 911 services with the town of East Hampton.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. I need to explain this one too. I'm sorry to take so much time. This has been a service that the village has been providing to the town for many, many years, going back to the first implementation of 911 services back in the 90s. And like a lot of things that we've gone through since taking office, we really saw this as a major problem for village taxpayers, because we are answering all of the 911 calls for the entire town of East Hampton. So if you call the police from Montauk, you actually get the village. And then if they need police services, it then gets transferred to the town police. So over the years, we have paid a lot of money, and we're kind of at the crossroads right now. We had a study done in 2016 where there was a study done to see if it was feasible to combine the two dispatch centers, which the town and the village. And it was feasible, but at the time, the town and the village decided not to do it. But there were recommendations within that plan that requires the village and the town, based on their call volume currently, 10 years ago now, to increase staffing to a certain number. Neither municipality has done that. So we are now at a crossroads because we have people who are preparing to retire within the next couple of years. So we need to either increase about 5 people and then backfill as people retire, or we need to not hire and start to, as people retire, not fill those positions. So it's a huge amount of money. And what we realized from our research is that about 60% of the 911 calls that come into the village are generated from town residents. So what we're asking the town to do is sign an agreement. We don't even have a formal agreement in place. So we reached out to the town supervisor, who was very agreeable, and they signed a 1-year agreement with us at no charge, but it codifies what we're doing. So God forbid there's a mistake or a dispatcher makes a mistake and we do something wrong, that at least we have an agreement that holds the village harmless now, which we've never had in place. And as we've seen, insurance companies dictate who's suing who. And, currently we're in litigation with the town over the PFOS, the chemical that in Wainscott, and they're currently suing us for $300 million. And our fire department did nothing wrong, did absolutely use the chemical as it was prescribed to be used, but there's a hold harmless thing and all of this nonsense, and I don't believe that the town should be suing our village fire department. They should be suing the company that produced this chemical, and we should be joining with them in that lawsuit and being united, and that is not happening. So as we go through negotiations with the town on contracts, we need to be well protected, because we can see what happens. Can you imagine if some judge decides that we're liable and we're stuck with a $300 million lawsuit bill? And that we can't have that happen when the village is doing the right thing. We provide ambulance services, we provide fire department services for the town residents, and we should not be being sued for not doing anything wrong. So we're just putting things in place. We found a lot of things that have not been set up in contracts. So our village administrator is going through every single contract that we have and making sure that the village residents are protected as well as we can. So that's what this is all about. And again, the town board has been very good with us. And again, I don't believe it's the town board that is initiating this lawsuit, but I think they're kind of under the pressure of an insurance company. And I think we would be in the same situation, God forbid something happened to us. So I just wanted to be clear on this, what it all is, and that the town and the village are working very closely together to resolve these issues. And hopefully within the next year, we'll come up with a plan, whether the village will be paid by the town to answer their 911 calls, or they will take their 911 calls, or the two dispatch centers will combine, and then we'll be covered all the way around. So we'll see what happens, but at least they signed the contract yesterday, at least we have something on record that holds the village harmless. God forbid we make a mistake. So thank you for that long explanation.
Motion to accept.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed and carried.
Resolution number 704 of 2024, approve the 3-year agreement for the in-time scheduling app for members of the police and dispatch departments in the amount of $5,040 per year with a one-time fee of $3,900.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passed and carried. One thing I forgot to talk about in the beginning of when I had announcements is the other night, former police chief, retired police chief Mike Tracy suffered a medical emergency, and he was transported to Southampton Hospital, and he's doing well. I just want everybody to know that in case you heard any rumors. And we wish him a speedy recovery. The next thing I forgot to talk about was our comprehensive plan, and I'm going to put Mr. Hayjack on the spot. Could you just give us, the public, an update on where we are with the comprehensive plan, when the next public meeting will be? And we invite the public to come out. We had really great input at the last meeting, so we're asking more people to come.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Billy Hajak for the village. So the Comprehensive Plan Committee has met twice now. We've had 2 meetings with the committee, the steering committee, and we had our first public session or public, gauging session to gain input from the general public. That occurred last Friday. It was very well attended. It was for a Friday night or Friday evening in December. We had about 50 people or a little more than 50 people arrive. The vast majority of them were village residents, which was great to see. The consultants are currently going through, they're still in the information gathering stage, and they're also now summarizing all of the input that was received from the public at that session, and they're putting that information together to prepare for the next session, which hasn't been selected yet, the time and date for that, but we will announce that when we do have the next public session, which is probably expected to be sometime in February or March. That's still up in the air. But in the interim, the committee will meet again with the consultants and continue the process of moving it along. But thank you for, mentioning it to the public, and, at the next public work session that we have, whether it's virtual or in person, we would encourage more people to participate again.
Yeah, it was really well attended. It was a very cold night.
Yeah.
And it was a Friday night of all things. And no more Friday nights.
Yeah.
So, but it was very well attended, and we need the public input. It's very important to have this, to help guide this process. So we really encourage you. You can also go to the website.
Yeah,
you can give input through that, so you don't actually have to attend the meetings. You can give us ideas. You can make suggestions.
Good point. Very good point. If you go to the Village of East Hampton website, our homepage has a link to the comprehensive plan website, which is a special website just for the comprehensive plan. There's an ideas wall on there where you can post your comments, your suggestions. There's lots of ways to get your information across to the village and to the consultants who are preparing the report.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And you've done a great job with this. So
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, can I get a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
Before I get that, a motion to close, and then we're going to go into executive session for hours to talk about things, and then
Should we run out
if
of
by
time?
any chance we have anything to tell you, press, we'll let you know. But can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is closed. Thanks for everybody. It was a long one.